Hello everyone, Speedrun here. Welcome to my third episode of ragnaCAST, your Ragnarok Online podcast. And in the other side of the line today, I have Chris. Welcome, Chris. Please introduce a little bit about yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm llchrisll, also known as Hyundai. Currently, I'm the one taking care of the responsible for the translation project. Everybody maybe heard about or uses it even. Um, um, Basically, I did started with the project in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I first committed my first pull request in GitHub in sectRivers or sectRivers, however it's pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about that if I messed it up. And since he posted in my pull request, he stops with his let's with the project because it takes too much time. And I thought like, since I was only doing custom NPC scripts back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
I thought like, why not take part in a more in work which benefits the community in itself. So that's what I'm doing right now, pretty much next to working in real life, and so it's pretty much a hobby.
Yeah, what
So
you have done is actually really incredible. And imagine how many people you actually allowed to dream, to create their piece of history in this amazing game that's RO. um,
well, yes. To be honest, on itself, while I did many have different versions back then, pretty much,
yes,
or complications to make a good setup so it's easy to use.
yes, very easy
Uh,
now, thanks to you.
Yes, with the new batch files, which generates the client folder you need from based on your setup, pretty much it's kind of easy now. But to be honest, I also saw many people still not knew that. So there's a lot of, even though I have a lot of documentations and so on in
Yes,
place
exactly.
to help people
Yeah.
set it up, even videos on my own to explain the details on it. But it's no problem in this case. I mean, they ask anyway, and if they don't know, then they are getting told by many people already using my project or this project basically. So it's not literally mine. I just continued from it. But well, in the
Mm-hmm.
when
Yes.
SecRiver had
So
it,
when you mentioned you continue from it, before you was someone called Zach. What? Zach Driver. So
SecDriver,
yeah.
so I still have his old PR, his old.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so how it's pronounced. I know how it's written. So
Yeah.
yeah, let me open just Notepad real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not SecRiver.
Yes.
SecRiver, that's how it's pronounced or written at least. So basically, yeah. That was the guy. He what is also from Indonesia. As far as his GitHub profile was mentioning. So, but yeah, like mentioned, due a lack of time or taking too much time, he can't continue anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since he was the sole translator.
Yes.
Like I'm pretty
Yeah.
much doing it myself right now. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah. He
real
was.
life it takes more important
Yeah.
sometimes than some kind of hobby. Which, yeah. Anyway,
Very very interesting. The so many people don't really know because it's is a very hidden part of the history in this whole thing, right? It's just interesting for me to know a little more what happened in the past. Um, I also like let the second question I want to make is actually how often you updated the project, and um, many people know you're responsible for the project, but don't see how much work you actually do behind the scenes, right? And I also don't know, and I would like to know how much work actually to do what you do.
It depends. Currently, I'm gonna be honest. I'm lacking the motivation currently because
Mm-hmm.
real life takes sometimes more, especially my new job since I started in the
Uh-huh.
project, the continuation. I had since a year now. I have a new job which takes more time, but of course pays
Yeah.
better than my last job and is a bit
Uh-huh.
farther away.
Yeah.
But so I'm more exhausted at the end of the day, so I can't do anything. And sometimes I only play games or watch videos on YouTube to relax, pretty much. So in the end, I'm currently not doing much, to be honest, which maybe everybody who follows the project saw. I do maybe some miscellaneous or smaller things like
Mm-hmm.
fixes and stuff, or like my last thing was the change about the system folder that
Yeah.
I use a custom one right now, which was more like a bigger change in this case in the inside because I had to change many files like my pre-set up profiles for Nemo and the session files for Warp to make use of them and fix those. And of course, the whole setup about the batch files to make read that instead to access this folder instead of the base previous system folder. But other than that, there's nothing else really much going on. In terms of progress about the project, I just remembered today that I still didn't sync, so updated my files based on the Caro
Yeah.
update I last pulled pretty much and extracted stuff from the official data GRF behind the scenes video I did. So I yeah, maybe I should do this at least, and then yeah, we can continue on somewhere else. I mean, there are far bigger changes I have to do. Like the my to-do list is pretty large, pretty much,
Yeah.
especially regarding items.
Oh, item
Um,
is something that I get dizzy sometimes switching between files. You got to have a strong mind or be in a really good mood. I'm not sure about you, but that's me.
Well, translations itself are not kind of difficult once you have a basic setup and you know how to do it. It's just the point how I managed up to now, pretty much, or until I finalized my format, how I'm gonna translate and do. So, like, what I mean is the whole coloring and how the layout of the descriptions are placed, pretty much.
Mhm.
And it also depends how the official item, like from Korea, it's pretty simple. They have
Yeah.
it like this, so I can just do it my way, pretty much like I used to. But
Hmm.
for j as example, it's kind of more complicated, since they have many, let's say, not say unnecessary long, let's say, item descriptions which are too long for sometimes.
Yes.
Because as example, they have items which have every combo related to them described again.
Oh, that
Like
is
they have
very
enchantment.
wow. That's
They have,
for me already
yeah,
sounds confusing.
well, kind of. For me, I only use the most basic ones, but every item in Jiro has their own like combination with enchantments and stuff like this. They mention it in the actual enchantment item again.
Yeah.
So I
So
saw
I have a
enchant items
yes.
which are, let's say, 5 pages long. I was like, what the
Oh
fuck are you?
wow.
What the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, they are writing the next Lord of the Rings. I'm kidding.
Yeah, pretty much. They're writing their own story per item. I was like, what the?
Uh-huh.
My gosh, guys. But well, that's chair for itself. From uh, international role like IRO, so IRO is pretty straightforward. They have a format which is not too complicated. It's just, in my opinion, it looks ugly and stuff. Let me get,
Hmm.
if you want to see an example. I
Yes,
mean, when you
show us
know,
something. Please
well,
show. Yeah.
so this is what I have here. What that's Eero. Yeah, that's this file is something like the missing items from based on Eero. Sorry,
Hmm.
International Ragnarok, and like here as example, they have it pretty much like I would use it pretty much, except of the lining, of course. And but normally, Eero has the effect down of the, let's say, this type of the item.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's necessary or what the
Yeah.
defense value, and normally they have the effect down below.
Yes.
So
Uh-huh.
maybe I'm not too sure if I can find one right now, because it's more in the earlier items. I'm gonna call it
Mm-hmm.
when they had it, or so many empty lines, or this whole set bonuses. Like I'm writing it completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I write when equipped with pretty much with the item, which takes up one line,
Yeah.
maybe two at most, depending on the amount of set items on it. And that's also some. So in Iro's case, it's more like fixing the layout pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and but
I,
that's
I'm
not too
curious to
difficult.
know. I'm curious to know in 1 year how many items they have added to the updates. Must be crazy.
You mean
How
the
many
total?
items ID increased in the past 1 year? No, just like eyeball it, like 1,000 items. No, it's too much. Like let's say in 2006,
Since last
2000,
time I checked,
yeah, yeah.
or
Let's say
generally since I took over.
every month or two, average how many items happens. You have idea about that? Just curious, like interesting.
Well, I don't have any real schedule on how
Yeah,
when I update. I just maybe do it once every month, maybe, or every
mhm.
second month,
Yeah,
depending on when I remember and have the time to do it.
yes.
So, if I remember correctly, the last time that was 7th August, I believe, was
Yeah.
my previous. To now, to my latest, it was on the 27th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a real value right now, so I have to estimate it. So pretty much that was maybe 500, sorry for the German in between, 500 uh, items total on 7 servers, pretty much what I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 100 in Cairo, 200 in Cairo, and so on,
That's
something like
a
that, and some
that's a
mods.
lot. That's a lot. Well,
Well,
that's
currently I have 7,698, so nearly 7,700 items missing based on 7 servers.
wow.
That's which is included in Korea,
Yeah,
so based on Korean, of course, which
yeah,
are missing 1,001. I'm gonna just switch.
yes.
I have it on my Discord in my to-do list, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can see here
Mm-hmm.
what it is. And here is a thread where you can see the whole list. Of
Oh,
course, I have
nice.
this one here local, which is taken from, and then it's lists here all items per line for
Oh,
that.
wow.
That's also one thing I received from Nitro's back then to make this happen in the first place. So
Mm-hmm.
that's also some kind of help I received based
Oh,
on Lua
yes,
coding
yes. This
back in the
is
day.
well deserved. It's amazing. This is much crazier than I thought.
Well, at the beginning, to retrieve such IDs, I used a simple Lua code pretty much to retrieve that. Since the whole files are written in Lua, I was like, why not use Lua for it? And
Yeah.
for the start, Nitros from Airtina devs helped me get a simple Lua code to get a list based on this missing items based on Cairo. Since then, I expanded this code to much more than it is right now. This is just some basic now. I used to have much more lines in this file, but since I'm using now functions basically to make this file shorter,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically all in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all pretty much what is doing. And based on the item infos, I have copied from official clients like
Do you think
Brasileir.
Lua file is a difficult language? I'm not sure if there is a
Um,
language or
the
what is.
knowledge itself I have on Lua is, in my opinion, basic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lua is can be in a very in-depth language in
Mm-hmm.
itself,
Mm-hmm.
but to be honest, I don't understand half of the more advanced stuff there's
Yeah,
going,
I
like meter table and whatever, and
I
you don't
had
know.
in the past I had 1%, no, like a tiny amount of feeling to learn this Lua, and then I was like, why I'll do that? It sounds just too crazy. But I think it's very interesting, you know. Like I don't even know if there are many Lua um, developers with high knowledge in the market, you know. I don't know.
Well, Lua is a, let's say, more light. It's called, I think, a lightweight language,
Hmm.
so more inclined language. I'm not too sure about the whole.
Yeah.
You would have to look it up per Google,
Oh,
pretty much, to be honest.
there's something I want to ask you. Um,
Sure.
maybe you don't play Ragnarok anymore, I'm not sure. But there is any other game besides Ragnarok that you play? Do you prefer play games on computer, platforms, PlayStation? What is it?
Currently, I don't play any kind of Ragnarok server. But I used to play when I was far younger, like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently 34, so my birthday
Okay,
was on the 5th,
we are
so 3 days.
nearly the same age.
Okay, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I started with the official Ragnarok server of Euro, so Euro,
Yeah.
European Ragnarok Online, which was turned on in 2013, but
Okay.
I stopped far earlier. I think it was 2005.
Yes.
At least I think the first 2 years I played
Mm.
officially some kind, but since I
Yeah.
was still a student,
Yes.
um, a school kid pretty much, I didn't have any way to pay the subscription to the
Yes.
server, so I only had to
Uh-huh.
possibly to use the 20 days trial they had in
Oh,
place.
I
So until
remember
then,
this. I have good
yeah,
memory on this similar thing on the BRO. Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, I asked my parents to pay 1 or 2 months, and then
Oh,
they stopped
nice.
pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I was not really a hardcore player, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even now. Basically, I'm more like enjoy it as much as possible.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
it's grinding, the grinding apart, I mean, it's an MMO, so I'm aware that it's more like you have to work for your stuff,
yeah,
especially on official servers, and where the punishment is far harder.
yeah.
But then I was like,
But
is there then
nowadays you don't really need to pay to play, right? Or still need to subscribe. I don't know.
I don't know what I think now it's free basically, but
Yeah.
in at the beginning there was, yeah, I think the money in the costs for money, the cost for internet
Yes,
was also
before
pretty
you.
high,
Yes, I
and so on.
remember this. It was interesting. My cousin was saying, "Oh, I need to renew the thing." I was like, "Wow, you need to pay monthly to play so crazy." Like, but well,
I
good
mean, like
moments,
the game,
good times.
like the game World of Warcraft, I still
Yeah.
have that as far as I know, that subscription
Oh
thing.
wow, wow.
As far as I know, that
Mm-hmm.
is. I mean, I last played it also ages ago when
Mm-hmm.
I think the fourth, what was it? The fourth DLC came out, Cataclysm. I last played it with a friend of mine, which then he, yeah, stopped afterwards, but it's
Uh-huh.
off topic. But in the after I stopped playing the official server, I went over to heard about private servers. Basically,
Yeah.
that's when I came into the Yatina
Yeah.
server emulator. So the
Uh-huh.
start pretty much of all my time here.
Yes.
So then, but then, I mean, that came a bit later
Oh,
after I stopped
sorry.
playing,
Can I
really.
interrupt you just to ask? There is a very small answer that I need that I want. Is when you developed your no, not develop, when you first make your work your offline server, took you how long time for the first time you tried to set up a server?
My first
Yes.
time setting up a local server. Also note, it's not an offline server. Offline means it's shut down.
Ah,
I
yeah.
know you might have heard a few times, but
Yeah.
local is local and offline it's not running pretty much.
I
So
see. Okay, so I
that's what
mean locally on
a
computer.
local
Yes.
host for a
Makes
local
sense.
server.
I never thought about it and it's complete makes sense.
I mean, if you talk about in the Artena Discord, Akarin will be the one who will declare offline is it's not running and local
Ah,
it's on your own
wow.
PC running.
Oh, this is so
So that's
interesting.
one thing. It kind of gets mad about it, to be honest.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
really mad, but he's kind of, yeah. But it's funny. It's funny to see always when I see it.
Yeah.
But that's out of topic. Anyway, my first time setting up a local server, that's gonna time some thinking. I think that took me a few days
Yeah.
because reading up tutorials which were
Was
available,
was
like the
Ratina
Wikipedia and stuff.
or Iatina?
Yeah, Tina was it already because I
Okay.
started with NPC learning NPC scripting back then, so I needed a server to test my scripts basically and to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 1 or 2 days getting done with XAMPP
Yeah.
or XAMPP, whatever it's spelled like. So there's also WAMP. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I started with XAMPP, which is an easy tool uh, as well. Like
Yeah.
there's many more tools nowadays, but in back, yeah. But I
You
think
said you make script. What was the craziest, the most difficult script you have done? I mean, like, if that is a question, I don't know, but I think script is so hard
the
for me.
most
Yeah,
craziest script
yeah.
is gonna be difficult because in the end I made a few of those. I would have to think or check my GitHub for that because there are many. So I'm gonna say the most difficult one I think was my battle royale script
Uh-huh.
and my dynamic battleground arena, which is not public because it's too broken
Yeah. I don't
to the
know
part that
what I don't know what either script does, but it sounds really amazing.
I can explain really quick. So battle royale is like PUBG and so on and Fortnite
Mm-hmm.
related, and dynamic
Oh,
battleground arena was my
it's
attempt of
funny
making.
because I made a PUBG map. PUBG map.
Okay,
I never played, but
well,
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
in my example, I used the main towns, or 20 of them, which are set up pretty much on its own with
Mm-hmm.
each setting separately,
Yeah.
and then it generates the zone out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't test it since I last checked, which was the 5th May
Mm-hmm.
2021. So I would have to check. Well, and the dynamic battleground arena is my attempt, or was my attempt of the well-known. What is it called officially? The, which requires source edit and whatsoever. I can't remember right now. From Akimo, I think.
Mm-hmm.
From
Source
EA
change,
mod, something like. Which is a
source
paid.
change. Oh wow, it's crazy.
It,
I don't know how
it
to
was a paid
source change.
script. That's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
But well, it was my attempt and to make it work pretty much
Mm-hmm.
in my way. Pretty much, it hosted team deathmatch, search and destroy, some like Call of Duty
Mm-hmm.
modes, domination, rush, and capture the flag. Two
Oh
separate maps,
yeah, I
settings whatsoever,
yeah.
and I tested, I think, most of it, but at one point it crashed my map server, so I stopped with it because it was a hassle
Wait,
to
I
start it
think
every time.
you get tear in the eyes and like smash the table. Enough, basically.
That's one part of testing and debugging scripts. So
Yeah.
where's the issue and how can I fix it? Pretty much the simplest way.
Have you ever
Uh,
coded any fun game before, or just mostly Ragnarok?
well, next to Ragnarok, I used to play Call of Duty, Battlefield, and
Okay.
stuff, but I stopped since then.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the last ones. I mean, I have the latest Call of Duty, but not
Yeah.
installed, like the
Okay.
Call of Duty HQ on Steam.
Yeah.
And Battlefield, I stopped playing since
Okay.
I
So
didn't.
is Ragnarok like the only like RPG game you like?
Not really. I have so many RPG games. I would have to go into my Steam library because I've met a few there. I mean, mostly are single players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure if you know the game. Can't even remember the name of the game. Holy shit!
Well, if it's on Steam, I probably don't know.
It's a very old game. I don't tell you right now. Was
Oh,
it?
that's a big list. You own
That's
all
not
these
too far.
games?
Yes, pretty much. Well, a few are free or additional to the normal ones.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Where is it? I'm looking for it.
You don't play
What
like
I'm looking.
Super Nintendo games or something?
No, I don't have any kind of console.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Ah, Darksiders. It was
Mm-hmm. It looks
Darksiders
nice.
1 and 2. It isn't very old game. It's just
Mm-hmm.
Gigabyte, and it was released ages ago. That's one of the single players I use and loved
Yeah.
to play back then. I mean, I've a lot more than, but
Mm-hmm.
then I also play simulator games like Euro Truck Simulator and what else? Then sometimes survival games. Though I'm more of the pacifist side, let's say I'm not
Mm-hmm.
fighting too much. I mean, it's not the point of view of a survival game, but
Yeah.
well, then, like, I'm not sure, maybe you never heard of it, Day of Dragons or The Isle. So The Isle is more a
No, never.
dinosaur horror survival game,
Yeah.
and Day of Dragons is more like it's a dragon game, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Your
most
your
yeah.
list is very different than what I played, except for her Ragnarok. Um, I never really play Steam games, so a little bit, but
Well,
not
I
too.
also have Ubisoft, but
Uh-huh.
it's been ages since I last installed that
Yeah.
launcher. I also used to play Assassin's Creed back then until the fifth part, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth part. Fourth part. Then and a few other games which are miscellaneous, like Watch Dogs. Played a bit when it was released, but well, these kind of games I'm not playing
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Pretty much, I'm more on Steam, and yeah,
Yeah.
enjoying other games. What I also play currently with other friends is Star Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
It's more, let's say, complicated. Um, that's a complicated game, and to be honest, it's the whole game is in early access
Mm-hmm.
or in alpha, not early access, in
Mm-hmm.
alpha since 13 years.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's currently getting a lot of updates and stuff, but it's a very immersive game. And the CEO of the whole thing is Chris Roberts, which was known to not. I, I just had the name. A very old game.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I can't remember. Anyway,
It's okay.
it's
It's just too many games out there. It's
yeah.
hard to remember it all the names, right?
I think it was Space Command. I can't remember. It's a very old game, mostly sci-fi related, so
Mm-hmm.
space related.
Yeah.
And
I
Star
think
Citizen is pretty much the child
you
of
show
it.
me all this game and I'm like, it like so many good thing games out there I didn't play, and everything you show me sounds very interesting. I want
I mean,
people to
Star
comment.
Citizen is.
I want
Hmm?
people to comment on the description what games they like, and also like, is any feature? This is the last question I have for you. Is any feature you wish like to have in Ragnarok, like some um, maybe script or like something else, um, because they keep adding
Technically,
updates, right? Maybe it could have this or like anything you come to your mind.
not
Mm-hmm.
personally, it's fine. It's own in its own way. I mean, it was released
Mm-hmm.
in 2002, if I'm not too wrong about that right now, or 2001.
Yes.
Um, and it's lived since then. So it's
Yeah.
23, 22 years now. 23
Yes,
years now since it
very
was released, and it
impressive.
lived
Yeah.
until now with, uh, well, of course, renewal change and the new
Hmm.
additions, new UI and new mechanics involved with it, like the enchantment UI, rune tablet system, and
Yeah.
scene whatsoever which came into the in the last updates from it.
Yes.
So, but it's also let's say a flavor, no, not a flavor, a feature on its own for Ragnarok. I mean, you can copy other, let's say, not copy or try to implement other aspects of a different game into its own,
Hmm.
but in the end, it's nothing really unique. Maybe
Yeah.
just changed. Like the whole
Hmm.
refining system is present in nearly every MMO out there,
Yes.
and making something unique is pretty hard
Yeah.
because either some other game had it already and you
Yeah.
just have
Makes
to, let's
sense.
say,
Yeah.
adjust it in its own way to make it fit into Ragnarok. You also have to make sure that it's mechanically or technically feasible. So like
Hmm.
it's not too hard to implement, to make too many bugs. So
Hmm.
it implements too many bugs or issues with it. That's one thing about game development, which also has to take consideration. Of course, it's a big company, I guess. So they have, but on the other hand, how balanced is that new mechanic is the other
Yeah.
part, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many unofficial or custom-made scripts available out there, which are really good.
Hmm.
I don't have a good example right now. I just saw a few which are really are the ideas related because I had few let's say support requests from guys which I could help them set up. Like one guy, I can't remember who it was anymore. I don't have the script anymore, I believe. Was referring to make the whole crafting and about the equipment. You can't get dropped items from it. You have to craft
Oh
everything
wow,
yourself.
nice. This is almost
And
like a Minecraft.
basically, yes. Pretty
Yeah.
much, it's a crafting system on its own. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
no matter you get only certain materials from monsters and
Yeah.
no equipment, and you have to craft them
This
themselves.
is
That's
something
it's
cool.
like a
Yeah.
progression, and
It's like a quest, but with a different visual, different effect.
so you farm for
Yeah.
something with
Yeah.
purpose. Like you
Yeah.
want that dagger, you need this and this material, you have to hunt those and those
Uh-huh.
mobs, or something like
Yeah.
this. And then it also had a tier system of
Mm-hmm.
like tier 10, 1 to 10, like
Yeah.
that, or tier 1 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had tools with that many users and success changes and so ever.
Mm-hmm.
No. So
Yeah.
that was one of the systems which maybe are already in place in other games, but not in Ragnarok. But you also have, like mentioned, balanced that whole thing. So, but in my personal opinion, to get back to the topic,
Yeah.
uh, I don't have any clue what kind of
Yeah.
mechanic
Yeah.
or feature
I
included
have
for
something
Ragnarok.
actually I was thinking lately. If the character could walk on a higher get other than the only get level, that would be something really cool. If you understand what I mean. Like a map maybe could have a tunnel and then you walk inside the tunnel and you could also walk above the tunnel. I think that would be something really, really nice, you know, if you understand
Mm,
what I mean. Like,
not directly, to be honest.
let's say you can walk on the lower road and the road above you with the character. Like, because now, if you see how maps are made, you only have one level of get files. Get are the walkable and not walkable.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm know of
Maybe
too.
because you're not much into mapping, right? But Ragnarok was never able to walk on two levels in the same spot, you know. Like let's say you
I
could be
think
on
I
the
know what it means.
you
So
could
yeah,
be
that's one thing.
yeah, you could be on the clouds and also on the um lower ground at the same time. I mean, in the same X and Y, for example. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
some
you
some
mean not
people
like
will
separate maps, something like
yeah.
a open world, pretty much.
Hmm.
That's what you mean,
Imagine like
I guess.
this. Imagine Counter-Strike map. You can
Mhm.
walk, like let's say, I forgot the name of the maps. Hmm.
Dust.
The CS 1.6 I used to play when I was young, and you could walk in two different levels in the same X and Y. So that kind of thing will make Ragnarok really interesting, actually. I think visually. Some people understand what I'm saying here.
Well, the most of it,
Yeah,
but I'm not too sure.
yeah,
But
you're not
I
too
might
familiar.
get it.
Yeah,
But if I wouldn't have
mm-hmm.
a visual aspect to refer to, then
Yeah,
maybe a bit easier than
mm.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, is there any question you would like to make for me?
not really. No,
Okay. Is
I
any
don't have.
question do you think you would like me to have asked you, or like you would like to add any information, anything more to this conversation? Please let me know.
No, not really.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think
I'm more
our
clueless about that part, to be honest.
it's okay.
If
Maybe
you
after.
have an idea you want to talk to her about, then go ahead.
I think I have. Probably after the call, I'll be. I should have asked this, but I just don't recall anything else to ask. I think our conversation was very interesting, and I hope we'll have a good feedback from the people. I'm doing this podcast to kind of gather together and show more love. I think this community also have a lot of love. People are doing their hard work for the love of the game, and I wish you know people notice this as well.
Yeah, they give a lot of time for the whole community, and which is also awesome. I mean, of course, not everyone. There are some exceptions, but so
Yeah.
unless you're pretty well known in the community, uh, yeah, I think you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to hurt or refer to someone, but
No, don't
it
need
would
to.
otherwise cause
Is
drama
of
again
course
in this case. So
drama in this community is something that I don't want to see it. I have seen too many, and it's not even worth to. Uh, yeah.
yeah, also sometimes like in kind of discussions, I mean, what are
Yeah.
you doing? Are you in a kindergarten or what? I mean,
Yeah.
but
I
to be
understand.
honest, on some subjects, I'm more neutral. Just let him do it. If he
Yeah.
deserve, if he wants to do it, do it. I mean, if it's not so good, then
Hmm.
it's his trouble. So
Yes.
if it's his problem, if he
Hmm.
gets into trouble,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sometimes
something like
people
that.
misinterpret stuff, and it's a big mess, right? But also has a lot of beauty behind everything that happened, and drama is normal all around. Anyway, um, yeah, I'm so happy to have you. It was a honor to talk to you today, Chris. Um, I
Um,
appreciate.
Same
Thank
for
you
me.
so much.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Okay. I wish you all the best whatever you're up to in life, and thanks so much again. I'm staying here. See you guys.